Well, hello everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about our succulent vertical garden here. We've got a wall of succulents, actually 3 walls. It wraps around this old metal shed here. I've got a few videos in this in the past of us working on it. And right now it's beginning of March, it's early, late winter, early springtime. The plants are starting to flush out, start to bloom a little bit and push out some new growth. The days are getting a little bit longer, so they're getting a little bit more sunshine, so they're starting to push out some fresh growth. So it's a perfect time to kind of get in here, take a look at the wall, see what plants are doing well. If there's any weeds that need to get removed, we're actually going to be doing a little bit of fertilizing. Taking care of a wall like this is actually very simple and actually really easy. It's one of the probably the lowest maintenance gardens that we have here. Irrigation's built into the top and runs down vertically, and so it doesn't require a whole lot of water. And what's great about this is it just gives us a whole wall of color. As you can see, we've got a lot of different varieties in here. Some succulents I've noticed do better in this situation than others, and so this is kind of a big experiment. We have many different varieties of succulents all around the wall. I'll show you some close-ups here in a moment, but really, I'm really proud of what the students have done, and so it's working pretty well. We've had this garden built here for probably about 2 years now, and so the wall is it's progressing. And so I wanted to show a little update so you can see how it looks this time of year. As like I said, we're exiting winter and kind of spring is right around the corner. And so I want to make sure that the wall is looking good. I'm looking for weeds, for pests, any insect damage, any plants that maybe need some support or are dying out. Like I said, some plants maybe need to be replaced entirely if they're not looking too healthy. Others are doing great, and so what we'll do with those ones is we'll fertilize them. So I'm probably going to use a little bit of liquid fertilizer. I'm just going to mix up some some fish emulsion in water and kind of just drench the top and get them all soaked up. But with this wall, they're in such small little containers of soil. Each plant only has a couple of cups full of soil, so I'm probably going to add in some slow release synthetic fertilizer as well. Usually I really love the organics, and we could do this organically as well, but just to reduce the amount of times for us to have to come out here, I'm going to probably use a little bit, maybe some Osmocote, something similar to what I use on my house plants inside, and so that way that each plant, they can just slowly get enough nutrition as time goes on. That water just wears away those little granules. So I'm going to kind of experiment with that, and so I think we'll feed them, we'll weed them, we'll look for any problems, we'll plant any, refresh any areas that need it, and that's really what it's going to be about. So let's take a closer look at this wall garden. So as I mentioned, some of these plants you can see they're starting to bud up and put out some fresh growth. Look here, you can see I've got some string of dolphins right there. Those are so cool. Look like little dolphins kind of jumping around. And they do okay over here. Sometimes they kind of get in the way of the other plants, but they can do okay. They trail down while the other ones kind of trail up and then down. But you can see we've got a lot of plants in here, a good mixture of colors. But what I'm looking for today too is I'm gonna look for old material. Like, see here's some leaves that are just dried out, and they're just in the way. You can see some ones that were damaged, just now we're not getting enough sun, so those will get cleaned up as well. I'm gonna look for any weeds that might be hiding in there, like this little devil right there. So we'll be pulling any weeds out, because right now they're also going to be liking all this warm weather too. So if we can take care of them, that'll help out the plants that are pre-existing. I may even get in here and cut back some of the plants that have grown so heavily, and so it might be time for that. The wall is pretty dry. We really haven't had a ton of rain, so I might have to do a little bit of light watering and turn that water on. Usually I have it, the system is all on a solar powered drip timer, and so usually I just have it turned off for the winter. And so I might have to crank it on today for a little bit just to give them a little drink. But you can see the blossoms are coming. We're gonna look for any aphids clustering up along all this new fresh growth. I've noticed some succulents and some plants are a little more susceptible to the bugs. You'll see some of them will be covered in aphids, and the one right next to it, not so much. So we're gonna go around and give a full inspection, pull these weeds out. We're gonna fertilize every single pocket just because we can, and then we're also gonna do a liquid drench as well with some nutrition of that fish emulsion. Lately, I don't know if you noticed this, if you've seen this wall before, this fence used to come out to here. So recently had the students, we ground that old fence down, we dug a hole, and we actually reinstalled the final post right here. Still now no one can get through there, but what's great is now we can see the entire wall here of color. Like I said, I might have to get in here and prune some of this out. You can see some old material in there, and it's just kind of dangling in the way. And the minute we get that out of there, the plants that are left behind are really gonna love it. Let me do a cut and I'll come across to their side, so I'll show you how the rest of this garden looks. Now here's the face and the front entrance to our shed. And so it's pretty cool. You can see the plants are growing very lush right through here, nice and dense. Like I said, some combinations of succulents I've noticed tend to play a little bit more fair on the wall, and they can kind of coexist together here. You have the elephant bush right here, beautiful plant. And then you have the little type of sedum right here. Look at it, starting to bloom as well. Look at those blossoms, real pretty. And that elephant bush is a really cool succulent as well. Succulent comes from, I think, the Latin word succus, just means juice. It's because the leaves are all full of water, full of juice. Although I wouldn't drink them, but it's a kind of a fun little fact. But look at that wall, looking really good. So like I said, some of them you can tell really don't mind having a small, shallow little pot, and they can kind of, the plants can coexist together. Whereas sometimes you notice some of the bigger ones get a little bit heavy and tend to not do so well. So that's why we might change out some of those varieties on that first wall I showed you, because like I said, I want the whole wall to look really good. And so we're trying to learn from what works and what doesn't. You can see the different types of echeverias and whatnot up here. They're just so pretty. There's some jade over there, a little dwarf jade. There's some sedums, a lot of different, there's mother millions, and there's some donkey tail. So I love this side, although it's in the shade right now. Hopefully you're getting a good view of it. Look, there's one of my favorites right here, the little black prince, really dark echeveria. I think that's echeveria. Could be wrong though, but yeah, so look at this wall. This side's looking pretty good. And so something that I've noticed that I might do is that we have a little bit of blank spots down in here. And so I might have to actually pull a couple little pockets and then replant a couple plants down here, just so we can get them nice and thicked up, because it really should be looking like that. I don't even want to see the fabric, which is basically, it's a synthetic felt. There's 2 layers of synthetic felt. Behind that is a sheet of PVC plastic foam. They call it expanded foam. So kind of like the PVC pipes you'd see for your irrigation, and but it's, you know, flat. And then behind that is a pressure treated wood frame, and then behind that obviously is the metal shed. But I really want these plants to all grow in to where we don't even see the back wall. I want to see nothing but foliage and greenery, and so that's the hope. And flowers. Look at those flowers right there, beautiful. So we're gonna play with this a little bit. We're gonna clean it up. Maybe we'll have to do an update video to show you how it looks later this spring, going into summer, because what's nice about this is the more that we've cared for it, it just gets better and better every single year. It's actually a wall that we keep coming back to and taking cuttings off of. Our greenhouse is packed full right now of all these varieties, because I'm able to get a lot of cuttings and do leaf cuttings and branch cuttings as well. And so we've got tons of extras, which I love. So this is like, I call it the mother wall. And so it's just, which allows us to come back and just keep coming back for more. I hope you liked our project here, and maybe, you know, get inspired to do something similar. Maybe you've already done something similar and we can learn from you. If you have, let us know in the comment section. Please come back for more. Until the next time, garden friends, happy gardening to you, and take care, everyone.